and really the successful clubs kind of do that. So how much have you seen that shift in sports clubs? And can you give us a little bit of an insight?
Yeah, it's funny. Like, Gorney's become one of my close mates, but we always laugh about it that he's seen me transition from the start. My first, I'd say 2.5, 3 years at the D's, I didn't say a thing. And I've always been like very confident in myself and stuff, but I was intimidated. And back then it was just like the big players like James Frawley, like Mark Jamer, Jeremy Howe, and they were good guys and stuff. I was just, even Chris Dawes, who went to my school and stuff, I was intimidated by all of them. I was a skinny little kid, like without a football background. So they would just talk. It was nothing to do with them. They weren't doing anything bad. It's just I was intimidated, so I wouldn't say a word. Like, I'd be mute. And then as I got my confidence, as I started playing in the ones and stuff, Gorney's like, it's just so crazy. Now you're the fucking like loudest person out there, like around the change rooms, and I'll talk to anyone and everyone, like, which is my true nature. So those first couple of years, I really, really struggled. It was like an identity crisis. I didn't believe I should be there. And to make that worse, I had a couple of friends that were supposed to be drafted. They were gun juniors that didn't. And I always felt so guilty about it. Because I was like, at that time, I didn't want it that much. Like, it was like, yeah, this is a great opportunity, but that was that's what they were thriving for. And at that time, I would have swapped my position in a heartbeat. So it's almost like this guilt mixed in with this, I shouldn't be here,
like
and stuff like that.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Imposter syndrome. Exactly right. And it's not until I sort of debuted in the D's first team in my third year, I think it's like round 3 or 4, and started playing a few games. I was like, oh, okay, I am good enough for this, and now I can show my personality. But that's why I always relied on my friends. They just viewed me as Jayden, almost like the 14-year-old. Even the 12-year-old, they've known me since then, or even guys I went to primary school, they knew me as a 5-year-old, and my family treats me like that. It's not Jayden the footballer or stuff like that, but when you get drafted, you're a footballer, so that's how you sort of judge. So, yeah, I always had a bit of a role with West Coast, unofficial, but I always got on with the younger guys. I was the only older guys that didn't have kids and married and stuff like that. So I was this weird older dude that hung out with everyone sort of thing. But I always told them, just do what works for you. Like, always work hard, but find your way to work hard, because it's often very different. I'll bring it back to your point. It's like, yeah, back then I didn't feel like I could be myself. Now it's a lot different. I think the good clubs now are the ones that are having fun, everyone can be themselves. Like, I'm loving the D's this year. Like, I went to the Gorneys and T-Max 250th, and yes, the vibe Stephen King's providing, and all the management allowing them, it's just ridiculous saying this comment, but allowing them to wear their own clothes to a game.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how good that is. It's not this huge thing about wearing a brand or something. It's about like feeling comfortable, rocking into a game relaxed. You've got 3 hours out there to be all tense and whatever. That'll come. And every competitor, you wouldn't be on an AFL list if you weren't a competitor. There's no question about any player's like work ethic or competitiveness. But you should be relaxed before a game. And Geelong's been doing that for years in different ways. I don't know if people know this, but they were the only team for years when they travel interstate, they could wear their casual clothes on planes, because when you're walking through the like Tullamarine or any airport, you're wearing a D's outfit or any club outfit. Everyone comes up to you.
Yeah.
Whereas it's amazing if you put a cap on, you're wearing casual, like no one recognises you. Max, Gorn, Harley and stuff's a bit different. But for me, when I go through an airport casually, no one ever sees me. And then when I wear a D's or a West Coast polo, everyone will look at you and stuff. And even they don't have to come up to you, but it's amazing what an effect can have if you're walking past someone. You know they're looking at you. It just puts you that little bit on edge. And so, yeah, it's crazy that shift has been really positive. And I think now the footy media is starting to realise, not some of the social media commenters, because I remember they were losing to Carlton the first half of that game. They wore casuals and Instagram.
Yeah,
that was so funny. And then they came up and won. I replied to a couple of them, oh, you went a bit early there, didn't you? And then their record since then has been unreal. But, yeah, I think for a lot of players it's actually separate. It's like with business. It's the same thing. Like, you in your job, you don't go home and live with your workmates, whereas you just talk work, you'd go insane.
Yeah.
It's just a ridiculous concept. And I get that it's all about sponsors and all that, but in the end of the day, what matters is if you win or lose. Like in AFL, that's where the money is. Like, and if you're having fun and stuff, you generally win. So create a fun environment like Geelong has been doing for years.